I'm Hank Berman,
And I'm Jesse Hill.
and our special guest today is Andre Cassagne.
Hey,
How we
Andre.
doing, guys?
Hello, Andre.
Nice to meet you.
Awesome, man. So wait,
Hey,
how do
always
y'all?
good to see you.
So how do y'all know each other?
We've known each other a long time. Years ago, I guess it was O'Charlie's. Is where it
Charlie's on the
started.
beach, yeah.
On the beach in front of Edgewater Mall. Andre was a bartender there, and I was a musician there. And
Is it the same O'Charlie's I know, like with the sweet butter biscuits? I mean, not biscuits, rolls. The one that was like in Gulfport.
yes,
Yeah.
Same, same brand. Okay,
yes.
cool.
You have to speak in my terms. It was the one with the Sunday brunch and all you can drink mimosas.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know they did that.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
It got crazy in there.
I bet.
Many good times.
Yes, many times. I played on Thursdays, and Andre, he bartended there, and we got to be friends. And Andre, you've been plugged into the scene ever since, haven't you?
Yeah, I've done some moving around. I did a little bit of time in Vegas after Katrina, Miami, 10 summers in Nantucket, and then back here, and now with my business partners, Kenny and Taylor, have the Red Apple Lounge, and you know, huge fans of music.
Right. Well, tell us about there. You go. Tell us about Red Apple. What's happening with that? How long you been open? What's the format, and what are you doing with that?
Red Apple Lounge is basically just as cocktail lounge. We've been open for, it'll be 3 months on the 5th. We opened up Cinco de Mayo, and things have been going blessed since then. And of course, you know, Kenny has Mosaics, where they huge fans of live music. We do shows every night, 2 times on Saturday, 2 times on Sunday. And then, of course, Taylor has Neon Moon, where, again, huge fans of live music. They do shows every weekend.
And Red Apple is located where? It's right near Mosaic, right?
1016 Government Street. Yeah, we're
wow.
we're just right down the street from Mosaic.
So all this is on Government Street. Like he was just talking about. That's great. That's
Yes.
Uh,
great.
Right there in the when you first get onto government, just right down from the brick building where
Gotcha.
that other lounge is. I can't think of the name of it. But I was told I have friends that go there and really like it. Mike and Brandy, among others, and it's kind of a Pulp Fiction decor. I mean, you've got some tongue-in-cheek stuff there, right?
Yeah, it's Pulp Fiction. It's really just a whole. Thank God, my mind escapes me.
Welcome to my world.
The director.
Oh, Francis Ford Coppola.
No.
No.
If you're talking about Pulp Fiction.
Oh, Quentin Tarantino.
Quentin
Yes,
Tarantino,
it's
yeah.
Quentin Tarantino themed. All the cocktails are named after tongue-in-cheek references towards all of his movies.
Well, that's awesome. I love
That's
that.
cool, isn't
See,
it?
I'm a big fan of that, especially back in the day when it was Leo's, when they used to like name the pizza after the Frank Sinatra pizza, the Elvis Presley pizza.
Really?
Like I would,
those were so good.
and see, I wouldn't even
Really? I never-
I wouldn't even try the other ones because, of course, I'm a huge Frank Sinatra fan or
Right.
Elvis. I would dictate my pick off of just the person that was named. I don't know why.
You have no idea the jokes that are running in my head right now about to get you to eat something that's really bad because
I bet. Oh, this is the Frank Sinatra.
this is the summer
Brussels
wind
sprouts.
pasta.
No, but anyways, that's really cool. I love when businesses do that.
That's cool. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
good.
so the whole name Red Apple came from, obviously Quentin Tarantino. In every movie that he's got, he references the Red Apple cigarettes, which is a fake brand of cigarettes. But that was the whole thing behind it.
I never knew that.
Ah.
I remember Bruce Willis talking about the red apples in Pulp Fiction.
Yeah. And as well, we've got a
Really?
beautiful painting hanging on the right side when you walk in, which is the Red Apple, basically Eve. So it's also
Oh yeah, Adam and Eve. Remember
Adam and Eve,
Yes.
original sin. So,
Mhm.
so when you walk in on the left-hand side, we have what I like to call the Reservoir Dogs, which is
Good movie.
a picture with Kenny, my best friend and business partner. It's got Daniel Fowles, Daniel Barajas, who are managers at Mosaic.
Mm-hmm.
It's got Nolan Keith, who has Lost Spring with Kenny, and then myself, and of course got Tony Quave, who's Kenny's right-hand man, and everybody has to have a Chad. So Chad's in there as well. But it's just walking down Government Street, in reference toward the opening scene of Reservoir Dogs, and it's a really cool photo.
That's really neat.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Do you have any Inglorious Bastards stuff in there?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
Just
Yeah.
when you're there. I'm sorry. Before I came, this is true. Before I came to, I was watching Between Two Ferns. You ever seen that on
Yes,
with
I
Zach
love that.
Galifianakis?
Gosh,
And of course, he's portraying the most inept, politically wrong interviewer. That's something he would have said.
oh my gosh,
My apologies, but
man, you're going to think I'm crazy.
you
but
are.
I've seen. I need to watch Pulp Fiction again.
Oh,
I
man.
can't remember. I remember the dance. I remember, but I don't remember like the premise. Like, but it's such an American classic. And what's crazy is John Travolta was at Scarlet Pearl, and we got to see him like walking
Yes.
around eating.
Well, I played. They were having dinner, and I was playing, and they were the whole the director and producer,
Yeah.
and him and the other co-stars, and they were sitting at a table, and people had told me, "Oh, you need to play the Chuck Berry song "C'est la Vie," the one that he dances to with."
Oh
and
wow! I bet you he
and
hears it.
no, I didn't play it because it's like I'm not going to be that guy.
Yeah,
you know
and
what I mean, or
yeah.
or you could have something from Greece. It's like, no,
Grace is the word. He probably be like,
see,
really, dude?
Yeah, that's exactly right. As it is, he shook my hand and said thank you when he was leaving. So it probably wouldn't have even gotten that had I played it. But anyway,
So how's the past 3 months you've been open? How's it going? Is it starting to catch on? If people I haven't been here. I was gone the
You've
whole
been
for 2
gone
months.
a
So
bunch, yeah.
so like, tell me what are some things that you are doing to rev up business, or is it starting to catch on naturally, or what?
Well, we opened up very well.
Cinco de Mayo is a good time to
That's
open
true.
a bar on Government Street, I would think.
Yeah. Well, it was. We've been very well received from the beginning. Of course, I've got my following.
Yeah.
I've been bartending here on Ocean Springs now for about 5 years. Started off at Chard, then went and opened up Wilbur, which Lauren Toronto, love her to death, beautiful soul.
Yes, she is.
And then moved on with Kenny, and for the past 3 years, we've won the Coast Nightlife Observer Award for Best Wine and Martini Bar at Mosaic.
Oh, that's cool.
Great spot if you're ever in the mood for great tuna or shrimp and grits. Amazing food.
In the courtyard right there.
In the courtyard.
It's very nice.
And like I said, live music. They have the best musicians that perform there.
That's great.
But it's just been moving on to Red Apple. Some of my people followed me over there, and we've just been very blessed to have amazing people come through. And, like you said, Mike and Brandy, they bring all their friends. And, I
Word of mouth is still the best.
Word of mouth is best.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true.
And it's in walking distance, close proximity to Mosaic.
Yes.
And
So a lot of people, they'll come down and have cocktails at my place and go have dinner and watch music at Mosaic, and then come back afterwards for more cocktails.
what are your hours there, and what days?
So Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we're open from 3 until Friday and Saturday. We close no earlier than 2 o'clock. If I got people there,
Right.
we're open.
There you
Okay,
go.
that's cool.
Sunday through Thursday, we open at 4 till 10. But again, if I got people there.
Sure.
And you know what? I say we open at 3 or 4. If I'm there, the bar's open.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm not going to turn anybody away.
Yeah. That's cool.
Come
That's
on
good.
in, have a libation, enjoy your time, talk with your friends, talk with me.
Very good. Yeah. I like that model in your head. I like and doing it. I like the idea of that. If somebody's there, yeah, and they remember that. People remember stuff like that.
But also, Ocean Springs is such a totally different vibe, especially exactly where you're located. The Government Street culture that has been built there. It's not, it doesn't have that corporate feel or that casino feel. It's very,
Yes.
you can walk in and
Almost like you're transported to another city, to
Almost,
a
almost.
section of Austin, or
You are. When you drive over that bridge,
Yeah.
if you want the bells and whistles, that's fine. You're 5 minutes away. But if you want quaint and
Mhm.
and I wouldn't say luxurious, but in
a
a
boutique
boutique,
feel.
yes,
Yeah.
boutique,
Boutique feel.
then here we are.
Yeah.
And that's why I love Ocean Springs.
But
Yeah.
one of the things and I saw you the past Sunday at the Wilbur, a lot of their guests that come through have been told about Ocean Springs. Oh, you should go to Ocean Springs. You should, you really should. It seems like for that kind of ambiance, it's Ocean Springs and Bay St. Louis, but more people talk about Ocean Springs and exactly what you're talking about. It has that feel. It has a feel to it. And if you want to get away from the craziness, so to speak, on a Saturday afternoon, you're only minutes away from other places that you can go to that are a little more calmer. Not everybody's, it's something for everyone, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Well, yeah, I mean, like Biloxi, even if you think about Biloxi, we always talk about casinos because we have, 13 of them down here, I believe so. Yeah. But like you got to think the Vieux Marché, what they're doing over there. Is that how you say it, Vieux Marché?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like with the Ground Zero. I mean, they're really livening that up. So that is a whole street of things. Then you have, of course, Ocean Springs, but then downtown Gulfport has really revved up that feel. Even though it's like the second largest city in Mississippi, like they really take that downtown with Half Shell and all those places.
Yeah, Fishbone Alley.
Yeah, Fishbone Alley. Right. So like it's really it's such a the whole drive, especially if you do it during the day, or in the evening, like the sunsets. I mean, you can't beat these sunsets.
True.
I mean, I know I'm like pitching for Mississippi Gulf Coast.
Well, we are. Yeah. That's what this podcast is about, is the music and all the other scenes that entail with it on the Gulf Coast. Yeah. I mean, that's what we do. We're promoting the coast.
So one of my favorite times is sunset at the Julep Room.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I've got to go. I've never been.
I mean,
you never been?
Never been to the
Ghost of Elvis walks nightly in there.
They do open mic on, I believe, Wednesday nights, and go down there for a cocktail, listen to the music, check out the atmosphere, look upon that big live oak as the sun's setting to the west. It's absolutely gorgeous. And then, Sunday afternoons, you got Hank playing on the porch over at the Wilbur. I mean,
there's something for everyone and every pace.
Yeah.
You like that gig at the Wilbur?
Yeah, it's great. It's like literally like playing on somene's porch.
What day do you do that?
Sundays.
Oh, nice.
Well, it's not just me. They have other people that play, but I'm there a bunch. And Andre will drop by and kind of mellow out, kind of hang out. But it's like people just sit and we talk and tell lies and have fun and just just sit there and have a good time. That's awesome. So that's another side of it, away from or a part of the scene in Ocean Springs. But man, you guys got it going on, Andre. That's great. I think it's awesome, and it's again, it seems like it's not, even though because it's human nature to have a bit of competitiveness in yourself. But there's something for everyone. The pie is big enough that everyone can have a piece of it.
Exactly, especially here in Ocean Springs.
And everyone knows everybody.
Everybody knows everybody. It's like I'll say, I'll see you around campus.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah. Yes.
And, you also have places like the Juke Joint, which they offer, really great live music every night. Yeah. And if you don't like it here, you go there. Just walk down till you feel comfortable.
Yes.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
But I think that the more businesses that we have that are like us, feed off each other. It brings more people to Ocean Springs who are like-minded and want to experience a good time. Like I play acid jazz at the Red Apple.
I love acid jazz.
It's just a good vibe, good feeling music. Then you go to Glory Bound, and they also have a different variety of music. Go to Wilbur. Everybody's got a different sound, a different feel to them. So if you don't like what one place is offering at the time, grab your drink to go, walk down the street. When you hear something you like, boom, you're there.
Perfect.
I mean, you can't beat a place like Ocean Springs.
And they got the OS 1515 project underway. I've been doing some work with them, but it's going to be called the OS Hotel. So they're actually bringing a boutique hotel here, a whole bunch of rooms built right across the Mary Sea at the OS 15. So that's going to bring
Is that that's what all that construction is over there?
So it's Crave Food Hall. It is the OS Hotel. I can say this because I built the website for them, and it's public. They
and
have,
you own the microphone.
That's true. And they have lofts 1515, which are going to be condos. And then you have
The parking garage as well, correct?
the parking garage. And then there's something else.
Boy, this place is
shops 1515, so it's going to be like a little retail shopping area, but it's all going to be in that one central lake. But when that opens up, think about like if you want to stay in Ocean Springs, you have some nice I call them bed and breakfasts. I know that's not not bed and breakfast, but they're like a boutique hotel. You've got
like the Wilbur, like the Roost.
They got the Roost. You got the Hemingway. But this place is going to be a hotel. It's going to be a boutique hotel, and that's also going to have condos where people can actually buy and live right here on Government Street.
It's going to be interesting.
It's going to explode.
How the complexion and complexity of the coast of Government Street is going to change.
Because I can tell you right now, Mary Holloway and his team, they want to move east. They want to move east. Mm-hmm. They're moving their utility works to another street so they can continue to move east. Because when we do the state of the city for Ocean Springs, when we film it, the question is, how do we grow but keep that small town charm? It's very important to keep that small town charm versus just start throwing, corporate retail shops everywhere, like kind of like Gulfport did, like, off the interstate, like it just exploded. Now Ocean Springs has something so special, so they can move east, but what kind of projects?
But maintain that same
they're going to be very
town.
picky of really what can
I think that's wise.
It's very
think
wise.
That's great.
But I think that hotel, that condominium, all that right there is going to, you're bringing in a whole different other, audience, I would say. Because,
demographic.
We have a full-fledged hotel. You got condos down here. Mm-hmm. I know they have some condos like close. I'm going to talk about on Government Street where you can walk outside and walk.
What's that going to do? I mean, Government Street is pretty
congested as it
congested. Yes, that's
well. Hopefully,
I was editing in my head.
Well, I think that the stipulation was the parking garage as well. Like they had to accept that. So the parking garage hopefully will be a huge help for some of the parking in Government Street. But
there's no other way there's no direction they can grow in. I mean, you got
to
bowling right there on behind you guys. On the south side, residential area, and then you've got 90 right there. But to maintain it. That's going to be interesting.
It's going to be interesting.
Yeah,
I'm excited to see the project.
So you can't go north or south. You have to go east-west, or east. You can't go west.
You can't go west.
Right there.
And see what Roxy and them have done at right there off of Porter. I forgot what it's called. I'm talking about the really cool-looking building.
Yes. What's the name of that? We have the Beatnik, and then across the street is.
I don't know what you're talking about.
No, but when you pass it, you see it, you're like, wow. I mean, the architecture is amazing. It's right there on Porter. I'm going to pull it up. Hold on. Y'all just keep talking.
It's on the north side of Porter. They do a farmer market there, I believe, every Wednesday. The Collective.
Yes.
Collective.
Oh, that's yeah. Is that going to be the parent company? Is that the parent company of this?
Rain Residential.
Yes.
I believe so, yes.
So the Roost is part of that as well. Mike Davis.
Look at that building.
Yes.
Mike Davis is doing it.
I mean, it's not the best picture, but I mean, it's really cool. They did such a cool job on that.
That's so different for the area, that building. I mean, it's like my wife and I were driving by when they first did it. It seemed like there was nothing there, and then boom, there it was, and it was like, whoa, that's crazy.
Well, they've also talked about Exit 50 because like when you're on the interstate, your entrance to Ocean Springs is either Exit 50 or Exit 57, and Exit 50 is one, especially with a lot of people from New Orleans coming. When you get off Exit 50, that's where I live. I live 30 seconds north of Exit 50, and it's all it's kind of it's hotels that are run down.
Yes.
So they're really going to start focusing on that, treating it like the entrance
rejuvenated
to Ocean, treating it like the entrance to Ocean Springs. So
and
a lot of
and like
coming.
You said, it literally
it should be.
Yeah, and it should be. Yes.
Yeah.
I was talking to Troy Ross about that. He's a supervisor over there, and he was talking about that's going to be some of their focus for the next term. So
did they reveal what kind of direction they're going to go in with that, or is it still on the board? Are they still trying
I don't know.
They haven't discussed
I'm saying
any of that.
I know all this information just because
Unofficially.
I've videoed them in interviews for the State of the City, so you get a lot of information poured at you, and you're like, oh, that's really cool.
Right.
So I hope they're very successful in that, because I would love to see Exit 50 cleaned up, because it's such a jewel in downtown Ocean Springs. But to get there, you got to go either, if you're on the interstate, Exit 50, Exit 57, you got to go down Bienville to get on Government Street. Once you get there and you got the beach walking distance, you got all this business walking distance, it's beautiful. It's just if we can get those certain things. Even Porter is like that, is that entrance the back way, and that's why they're really trying to revive that area to where it all kind of almost like tells a story before you enter downtown Ocean Springs.
For those who don't know, Bienville Boulevard is also Highway 90.
Yes,
because I've had people from out of state, that have said, "Well, I'm looking for Bienville Boulevard," and it's like, "Well, you're on it."
I just realized that.
Yeah,
I always called it Bienville, but it's part of 90.
It is 90. It is that section of 90 in Ocean Springs. So anyway, for anybody that's listening or knows someone that might be confused, that's what it is.
So cool.
So,
talking about Ted and Roxy, the job that they're doing at Gulf Hills is amazing.
Yes,
the hotel, the Sunset Lounge.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's probably one of the best views. Aside from
it's across the bay from
and the hotel needed it. I've been playing there. I played there a couple weddings, and I remember going there, and it's historic. I mean, it's that old feel, but I could tell it
is historical. I mean, Elvis walked the grounds, and Al Capone before then. I mean, among others.
I'm gonna toot their home though. That couple, Roxy. What's the other guy's name?
Ted.
So Ted and Roxy. I mean, what they touch, it becomes
they're doing something right.
They're doing something right. I highly respect their work.
Yeah,
I really do. So
and Capone's Lounge.
Yes.
Speaking of,
love that place.
Yeah, it's great.
I gotta get out more often. All this stuff happened when we started having kids, and so we haven't really been out. But me and Steph, we were talking about like, hey, you've
been a little busy.
Yeah, but how does it feel to have like a date night? We haven't had a date night in a while, and so
you should go to Anthony's. Under the Oaks.
So we've actually eaten there before. That was one of those ones we kind of like went off the beaten path. We were like, you know what? Let's try something different.
Yeah.
And so we went to Anthony's, and that was really good.
The food is good as well.
So yeah,
the view.
But that's the goal, is like try different things, and like the Red Apple, like that would be a really cool place to go have a cocktail and
absolutely
and just get the vibe, and because I love that area. That area is done very well.
And this is no cover charges for anybody that might be right. You don't charge a cover charge, because some people don't know, and Government Street isn't built on that at all. So, and you guys, Mosaic and Red Apple, and that you don't.
I can't think of a place on Government Street that charges a cover.
And it'd be suicidal to me to do it.
I mean, for live music,
and that's pretty good.
Any other city you go to that I can think of, if you're having live music, you have to pay a cover charge to walk in the door.
Yeah,
except for Ocean Springs.
Another
Murky Waters.
Good thing. Yeah, Murky Waters.
God, that freaking barbecue is so good. It's smoked meat. Best, if you want, you don't sell wings, right?
No.
Okay, so best wings of all time. I don't want to like.
Well played, sir. Well played.
Oh, no. But best wings by far I've ever had.
Really?
It's Murky Waters. My gosh, I'll order. I'll have
you like them and then the deep fry 'em?
It's stupid.
Really? You're like the goldfish. You just eat till you blow up.
They've done it right. They've done it right. Like Buffalo Wild Wings, Domino's. I've tried them all.
Yeah.
And
your favorite is
Murky Waters does it.
I have
right.
a feeling I know where you're going for lunch.
Well, you know what? I'm just thinking like, okay, what can we do for dinner? Murky Waters.
After a drink at Red Apple.
At the Red Apple, go get you a cocktail and then
talk Tarantino.
Yeah,
that's cool.
I'm excited to see it. I'm going to definitely check it out. And so let's talk. I want to talk about a little bit about music. So Hank from years back. Let's talk about. You talked about acid jazz. Is that your preferred music, or is that just the atmosphere of that place that you want to connect it with? Or
it's more the atmosphere that I wanted to portray.
I like that.
To me, it's jazz with a little bit of funk mixed into it, a little DJ style. So it's not just elevator music.
Or what I call the local on the eights kind of jazz.
Yeah.
Local on the eights. Oh, that's funny. Yeah.
It's not your boring jazz.
It's background up. Elevator the on the eights. That's funny.
Yeah, it's what Dad always called me. I was like, I put break time music. Right. And see, a very wise man, Don Sprayberry, said, when you're doing break time music, because my break time used to be like a Michael Bublé or Frank Sinatra, album. He said, you know what? He goes, if you played stuff that has no lyrics and it's kind of not as fun as listening to you sing,
more vanilla,
he goes, it makes them want you more. And so I was like, okay,
that's kind of a cool idea.
So I would press it, and it was kind of, you could tell like people would kind of get in this mood, and they're like, when's the singer getting back?
Yeah.
And that was like, oh, I'm back. Okay, cool. It's a treat.
Smart.
So, and it was always local on the eights kind of jazz.
That's
Anyways,
but trip hop is I like trip hop. Do you ever listen? No, I said trip hop. You acid jazz. I was going to ask you about trip hop. Have you listened to any of that kind of genre?
When I was younger, man, and I still enjoy trip hop. So my background was, for many years, I was into the techno circuit. I still enjoy techno music, but I found that acid jazz to me is a good mix of techno with classic jazz. So it's easy listening, but it's not overpowering.
Yeah,
sophisticated techno.
Exactly.
I like that.
So that's what I want. I want people to come in. I don't want them to be overpowered by the music, but I don't want them to have that mellow, chill, good time, but at the same time have a little bit of energy to it.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, it sounds like the vibe you've created is really cool there at the Red Apple.
And when you walk in, Taylor Pontius did an amazing job with my business partner Kenny's best friend Cedric building the place out, and Kenny did an amazing job decorating the place. When you walk in, you have all these pictures, just interesting characters. The walls are really beautiful navy blue, and then the bar itself on the back bars is bright candy apple red. So just the aesthetics
it really sets it
are
off.
visually pleasing, and so we have to match that with the music. So as well as being visually stimulating, you also are entertained by the music. But it's not overpowering to where you can have a conversation with people of all walks of life from different genres, and it
works.
It works.
Stimulate your
It melds
senses
together.
Stimulate your senses at the Red Apple Lounge.
See, you've got the voice.
No, you actually have the better voice. I go into a whisper.
Stimulate the senses at the Red Apple Lounge.
Yeah, there you go.
I like that.
Yeah. See?
My next commercial,
I'll be the guy.
Part.
I'll be the guy. Yes.
That's right. Hey, we can record it right here. We can do a 30-second segment. It'd be fun.
That's right.
No, but yeah. So like when you're driving your car, blowing leaves off the sidewalk or whatever, what kind of music do you like to listen to personally? What's your or like, let's say if you're not going to the Red Apple, you want to go somewhere else, away from Ocean Springs or whatever. What's the music that like draws you into saying, hey, I want to go check that out?
So aside from Hank,
there you go.
I like this guy. I like this guy.
But I've been listening to him for 23 years.
Yeah. That's crazy, isn't it? How time has flown by. Yeah.
I mean, but I love a good acoustic set.
That's cool.
That being said, Eugene Ish does an amazing job. I love going and listen to him at Mosaic. Jody Harris and her band, District Lights, they're phenomenal. But if I'm just driving around, I'm probably going to be listening to techno music.
That's cool. Now, is dubstep different from techno music? Is techno...
So I'm more of like a house and trance kind of a guy.
Not industrial.
Not industrial.
Yeah.
Industrial and dubstep are a little bit on the heavy side.
Yeah. Gotcha.
And that to me, I just like something light to, brighten my day up.
I like that.
If I'm not listening to that, I'm listening to jazz
that's cool.
Or blues.
Yeah.
My dad raised me on classical rock and roll.
See, my dad, I think all dads, like, especially that era, just raised all their kids. Because I remember just going down like Foreigner and was it Boston? I used to love Boston and Boston.
That's because you guys are young.
Thank you.
Yeah, right. If you asked me as well, my dad raised me on Al Jolson.
My dad raised me on ragtime.
They didn't have, they didn't have music because they didn't have talkies back when I was a kid.
Oh man,
no, but that's great, and it obviously, and it's great music. I mean, that's given classic rock. I mean, it's never going to go. It's classic.
It was a treat for me on a Saturday afternoon for my dad to take me out in the 240Z, the T-tops off, and jam out and just cruise. And then on my mother's side, she raised me on country music.
Really?
Yeah. So I mean, I listen to everything.
Got it all.
I've got appreciation for all walks of life. When I was growing up, I played the alto saxophone. I played Barry. I played the tenor.
I never knew this.
I taught myself piano. I tried learning the trombone and the trumpet, but my band director kept kicking on to me because he said it was going to ruin my amateur trying to play brass versus a wind.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So I basically stuck with the saxophone, which I...
Really?
Yeah.
Never knew that about you. See, find out something about Andre every day. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, Andre on Thursday nights playing the saxophone.
That's right. I can see the silhouette with the fog outside of the Red Apple, just that lonely sax.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
That is awesome.
I didn't know that. Did you pursue any kind of band stuff away from school band after while you were in school or out of school?
So I played in marching band, jazz band,
Mm-hmm.
in classical. Got played in college for a little bit, but I more enjoyed the jam sessions that me and my classmates had off of grounds.
Yeah.
That's where it was real fun. You didn't have sheet music in front of you. Somebody would pick up and just start playing a beat. Generally the drummer would start with something, and then, either the horn, myself, or somebody would start leading off, and we just all follow and just play by ear. And
that's cool.
That's awesome.
to me, jam sessions are where it's at. That's why I really enjoy the Julep Room. Because, man, those guys, they can get down. And like I said, no sheet music, just
Right.
talented musicians getting together, playing for the love of it.
I'm surprised that the coast, and it used to be really prevalent on the music scene years ago, would have jam sessions. Clubs would have jam sessions, and you could go there. And it was kind of like the musicians back then were kind of like how Government Street, the entity itself, is now, in that we all do the same thing, but we weren't competing against each other. We were playing together. We knew each other. We knew our families, and that made a difference. And we'd get together and we'd play, and then it just kind of filtered out, or for whatever reason, or faded out rather, and they don't have it anymore. But I'm surprised somebody hasn't brought back jam sessions. I don't know what it would take.
I bet you the innovation of technology has kept that away. And the reason why I say that, because Hank, you can pick up guitar and start playing. I mean, there's people out there that could do that, but some of the newer musicians are like, with the technology of tracks, background tracks, and like me, I'm just a singer. I mean, I can play guitar, but I can't sit there and start jamming with you. I'd be left in the dust. I have a feeling that the solos and the duos have kind of taken away that, unless you've been in a band or you're from, like,
I see what you're saying.
you know what I mean? Like, because
you could do your Bobby McFerrin and start doing all your weird sounds. And
Bobby McFerrin. What is Bobby McFerrin?
You don't know Bobby McFerrin? He did a song, a
Darren.
novelty song that made the radio some years ago with "Don't Worry, Be Happy."
Oh, he is a little song guy. Oh, yeah.
But he is very innovative. He emulates horns and musical instruments while he does this. I almost said Acapulco because I say that as a joke all the time. A cappella show that he'll do, or used to do, and he'll do drums on his chest, and it's really crazy what the guy could do. He's a jazz musician, but I'll turn you on to some of that. Check him out, Bobby McFerrin. Wow. I don't know what he's doing now as far as maybe he's gotten away from that and actually playing with real bands. But he did like Levi Jeans did commercials a while back where they'd have celebrities doing it. And he was one that was on doing this. I
haven't looked that up. I know that one song, but I don't know anything about him.
Yeah. Appreciate that. Don't Worry, Be Happy. The video had Robin Williams in it, and just a fun song. But anyway, yeah. So, but getting back to the jam sessions, I still think it would be fun, even if it's acoustic. I mean, I play electric and acoustic. It'd be fun just to
I bet you acoustic
play
would
with
be
somebody.
easier to set that up,
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, it might, it's not singer-songwriter circle type thing. It's just you're jamming.
Yeah.
And bring in a horn or or somebody playing, percussion, whatever. Anyway, that's just,
Speaking
I'd like
of
to see that.
singer-songwriter, are we having that this year?
I believe so.
I know after the shutdown, we haven't.
No, they're planning on doing it. I thought.
Is it in the fall?
It's usually in the fall, yeah.
During festival season, I believe October, November.
Yeah,
sometime.
somewhere in there.
I was supposed to have a meeting with the Songwriters Association about the website and social.
Well, they're here in this building, aren't they?
I believe they're a partner of Mary C. But okay. Since I was out, I have not been able to meet with them. So I don't know the details, but I'm sure I know they're going to do it. I know they wanted to get bigger and more. The city wants to be more involved with the structure and everything because it is a good draw.
Yeah,
you got like the Peter Anderson Festival, and then you got like the arts festival, and so I think that's one of those ones they wanted to make it bigger to get up on that kind of level.
Quite well at Floribama and other places.
Mm-hmm.
No reason why it shouldn't here as well. And plus, you'd attract singer-songwriters from the state and outside areas that.
And we have great singer-songwriters. And just like we were talking with Terry on our last episode, is like, I hate that we have such great talent here, but they feel like they have to go out of state to make it. Like you have to be in Nashville or LA or New York.
Part of that was that the coast has never been known until, and even so, it's beginning to, but known as an original music kind of place.
Mm-hmm.
It's always been covers here.
Well, we need a really good recording studio.
Yes.
And we have a recording studio, but I'm talking about like, you know, something built for, hey, let's make hits. Yeah. Let's not make just like a demo, but let's try to make a hit.
Well, all it takes is one person coming in, I think, and like, oh, so-and-so, is coming, recorded on the coast. Well, that perks up not just other musicians and companies and record companies' ears, but as also the people out there that say, oh, well, that's cool. Well, I mean, I can't tell you how many people said they've gone to Muscle Shoals. Muscle Shoals is nothing is there except for this brick building that happens to have recorded multiple million
of all time.
Yeah, I mean, great of all time. Exactly, all time.
That is pretty awesome.
Yeah, so we would have a little more ambiance with it, but it could happen, and it should happen. I'd like to see it happen as well.
It's funny. Just the other night, I had a guest in, and he turned me on to this restaurant / late night music venue that was here on the coast before the casinos came in, and I'm struggling to remember the name.
I'm sure Hank remembers that.
But it was
what is that supposed to mean?
You're always talking about Fiesta and all this stuff, and I'm like, I don't remember that.
It was a dinner club that also had a 24-hour cafe, and I'm talking about the 50s and the 60s.
Okay, you had Gus Stevens.
Yes,
that was on the corner of what was Pat Harrison and is now Veterans.
Is that the same?
At 90.
When you say Gus Stevens, is the same as Cy Simons, or was that totally separate?
No, that was down on that was on Division. That was his place had Hank Williams Sr. Had
Elvis.
Elvis played there when Elvis was living in Gulf Hills. Yeah, Elvis had a place. In fact, I used to play golf a lot, and there's somewhere on the ninth hole, somebody will correct me or us. Yeah, correct us. That's the house. It never failed. Yeah. That's the house that Elvis stayed in.
Yeah. Cy Simon's daughter, Jerry Weldon, rest in peace, was a big fan of, the Sinatra feel. So she would come and see me and we would talk. She'd bring me pictures. And it was like her as a little girl, meeting Elvis and meeting Hank Williams. And I'm like,
yeah. And I think it was turned into a paint company, got the building there or something. But it was like one of those haunted places. It had all the ghosts of the people that played there and all the people that went there. It was old Biloxi, and it was an old Biloxi place. And it was just, I'm sure to a lot of those men and women that went there at the time, it was just a bar. It wasn't anything special. But you
had all these talented musicians that came from all over the country to perform there.
Yes.
And you don't think about Biloxi, Ocean Spring, the coast, having that draw before the casinos came.
Correct.
But it did.
Yes, it did.
And to think that, in the 50s and 60s, that people were out partying 24/7.
They partied hard, just like they do now.
Yeah.
At the coast, that's the coast.
I was really surprised and amazed to learn this.
You're talking about Gus Stevens. Gus Stevens was what it's famously known or infamously known is that it was the last place that Jane Mansfield performed. I
was about to pull that up, saying, wasn't there a very famous actress, and they have a picture of her at Hotel Legends?
Yes.
Beautiful girl.
Oh, she was gorgeous. Her IQ was through the roof. She had it all. She literally coined the phrase "dumb as a blonde." Or, she wasn't dumb at all, but she was a marketing. Yeah. Her daughter is on Law and Order. Oh. Mariska, I can't say that. Yeah. So but her legacy has lived on through that. But unfortunately, leaving the show, we didn't have the interstate back there, so they took Old 90, and it was foggy and really ugly. And
was it in Bay St. Louis, Waveland?
It was outside of west of Bay St. Louis. Old 90 took you into New Orleans, and that's where they were headed. And that was another thing, which is kind of like happening now. with Ground Zero on the coast. That the coast was a place people were going from, say, Atlanta to, and especially back then, transportation. The coast was a place they could get a gig in between the two big gigs.
That's true.
So it was.
That makes sense.
So it's like instead of just driving straight from one gig to the other, hey, the lure or the marketing aspect was, come by. We'd love to have you. You can make some money. We'll set you up, eat great. People are friendly.
We got the White House Hotel. You probably stay at.
Probably. And
you wake up to a beautiful sunrise.
And so that became a thing. That House of Blues in New Orleans did that a lot too, when they used to have a lot of music in recent history, that it was a place to stop and get gigs. But there was other people that played Gus Stevens, and it was a true supper club. I have friends that worked there as busboys when they were kids. Yeah, I know. Like, I am so dying wanting to say names, but I'll embarrass him and another time. But like Dick Van Dyke and his brother Jerry would play. Andy Griffith,
yes.
Andy Griffith was here. Did his stand up here.
Wow,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
See, that is stuff I don't know. That's historic, man. We need to have some statues or something about all this.
Oh yeah, Steve Stevens, his Gus's son and his sister, they had a place called Stevens Hot Grocery in Gulfport on Tea Garden in '90, and I used to play for them too back in the day.
About to say, man, I played for the Romanovs when I played for the Romanovs when the Bolsheviks invaded.
The night before Lenin came in. Hey,
gosh!
Somebody had to be the entertainment.
That's why I'm laughing. That's why I'm like, because you've been there and you're probably the most well-connected musician down here that remembers like past and present.
It's funny. I don't think of myself that way. Unfortunately we just lost a few days ago Mac Taylor, who was he passed away, and Mac was the guy. He was the bridge between old and new. But yeah, I become that guy. I was the guy that played at General Custer's. The dinner they had the night before before the Sioux wiped him out. Custer's Last Stand.
Oh gosh.
I played that gig. It was unplugged. They didn't have electricity. Anyway.
I was about to say Custer. What? Never
Custer,
mind.
yeah. George Armstrong. Yeah, try to veal. I'll be here all week. But Stevens Hot Grocery, that was Steve Stevens had it, and they used to tell, like you said, wish you had pictures and stories. These guys, I think Steve ended up going down to Florida or Orange Beach, somewhere there. But the stories were great, and it's unfortunately those things aren't around anymore, and technology has a lot. Life just and civilization moves on. But yeah, that Stevens, and there was a lot of other places that lesser known places that were here on the coast. The coast was wide open in many, many ways back then. Yeah, that's enough said about
See,
that.
I'm interested to see, like, that would be cool to bring some kind of
Legends where you play.
Yeah.
That's kind of a dinner around the state.
It's more Hollywood per se.
But I bet the setup would probably be about the same as what a dinner club.
Yeah. Now we've
back
had
in the 50s, 40s, 50s, 60s.
We've had some elderly people walk in. Okay, not going to even say elderly people.
Yeah, you better watch your tongue, son.
I'm going to re-edit that out. Yep. So we've had some older generational people come in and say, hey, this is not really supper club. Where's the dance floor? That's the only thing it really lacks. And then hopefully they'll get that one day. But, Hotel Legends is like a tribute to old Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it'd be really cool to have a place dedicated to old Gulf Coast.
Mm-hmm.
Just like here's some old pictures that of Elvis at Cy Simon's,
right?
Or these historical places that you've heard. It's like almost like a legend or a folktale or whatever. But
yeah,
they have pictures of James Mansfield, doing a show there or wherever, and it doesn't have to be the exact location, but almost like a bow to old Gulf Coast, because there's a lot of history, especially untold history as well. But it's there. I mean, Capone used to stay here,
right?
In Ocean Springs.
He had the house right there by the not Davis Bayou.
Anyways,
no.
I'm just
sorry, we did.
I'm thinking. Yeah, I'm deviating.
Your septum what? By the way, Jesse's real good at editing, so you can say "fuck" all you want or anything?
Every time he does that, I have to. So Terry McCormick,
damn it,
I was like,
Bobby.
I was for
But
Terry.
you don't curse like I do.
Well, for
so.
Terry McCormick's, I was like, okay, easy. I remember it going right through, and I was like, so I don't have to sit here and listen to the whole thing because I know like it so I put my
sorry,
beginning
Jesse.
and I put my end, I put all my effects, and I was like, Hank said, "Fuck, let me go find it." And then it took me a good 15, 20 minutes to find that spot, and I'm like, all right, and then I had to.
Well, we're about 45 minutes into it, so you can find it.
Yes, 45 minutes.
Which time?
Touche. That's true. One of the things that talking about this kind of venue that I've noticed, and it's come up in conversation, is people, and there's one in Orange Beach I found interesting, speakeasies. There's a place in Orange Beach, and I thought it'd be so cool on the coast and they're smart in this respect too. There's a speakeasy. Somebody had told us, we went to see a concert there and with some friends, and they told us you got to go to this place, but you have to have the password to get into it. So where's the password? On their Facebook page, on their Instagram page. So
I've seen this.
So that's smart. It's great marketing. So
And they update it every day.
yes, every day it's different. That's right. So to get to it right there at the wharf, you go literally into a jewelry store right there. When you first walk where the jewelry store entrance is, there's another entrance that looks like a bank vault, the handle and all the thing, and it has a key code thing.
It's crazy you're mentioning this. So I filmed a TV show called Darley Travels with Darley. We went to Mobile. So Mobile, that big, tall building, there's this place. It's called Dolphins. It's on the top floor. And it's owned by this older NFL player who played for the Dolphins. Well, there's a speakeasy in there. So I actually got to see, there was like this bookshelf, and there was this big man in a suit, and he was like, password. And we went there to go film. And it opened up. It was like this bookshelf just slid open, and you have this big bar, and it has the big bank. It has the big bank vault.
Yep.
I'll have to show you some footage, but I was like kind of mesmerized.
I'd like to see
is this place like real? Like,
yeah.
You and it's inside. Like I forgot what it's called. You can look it up. Just type in Mobile Speakeasy, and it'll pop up.
I know there's one functioning right now in Mobile because these people in Orange Beach were telling us about it.
Yeah, and I went inside it. We filmed it. I got footage of it. It's amazing.
Well, the day that we went, not too long ago, it was so hot. I mean, it was just it was typical summer day that we've been having, beginning of summer, and so put the code in, put a couple codes in. We had it wrong, and it would not let you in. And then finally, the third time was the charm, and we get it. Click, you hear the click, the door opens, you walk in, air conditioning, smooth jazz, acid jazz is playing. In fact, I Shazammed a bunch of it because I'd never heard it. It was really cool. And you sit there, you've got a window fit on the water. It was like, it was just the whole feel of it was awesome. So that kind of, I mean, I'm getting ahead of myself talking about supper clubs and all that. Have it where you have to have the code,
that's
really
what they did.
Cool.
There's a password. And we remember that it's a Facebook. I think
it's something different.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
Walking in there's Quentin Tarantino and you talking.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's a different. If you can do something that is different, because everything's been done so many. Like, there's a lot of things that have been done, but like you can find a different vibe. Just like the
Red Apple. That's what I was bringing it back to that. That's one thing I think that's you are successful, and I think you'll continue being successful because it has a different feel, musically and aesthetically, what you're talking about, how it looks, and
Quentin Tarantino movies and cocktails are like, that's like perfect. Yeah. People
maybe
like
want to smoke red apples. I always thought red apples in the movies was just Marlboros, a nickname for Marlboros, because the pack.
I learned something today.
Yeah, when Bruce Willis in the movies opening, it looked like a pack of Marlboros. Anyway,
another thing I like about Tarantino is what they call the Easter eggs, which are like references from one situation in one movie to another situation in a different movie.
I don't know this. Give me an example, please.
Never heard of Easter egg?
One of my favorite examples is in Pulp Fiction. So in Kill Bill #2, Bill asks his brother, "Where's your Hattori Hanzo sword?" And he says, I hawked it. I pawned it. Well, in Pulp Fiction, the sword that he kills the Gimp with
is
is the Hanzo sword.
So
And then
that's cool.
At that pawn shop, right?
And then when
How about that?
when Vinny Vega has Mia, and she's telling him about the Fox Force 5 joke,
Right. Yeah, the pilot that didn't make it.
Yeah, the Papa Tomato and Mama Tomato and Baby Tomato are walking down the street. Ketchup. Well, the 5 women that were the Fox Force 5, if you look at Kill Bill, those are the 5 women that she has to kill to get to Bill.
Really? I feel like such a dummy.
I'm gonna have to YouTube.
That's so clever. I mean, so clever.
There's in Inglourious Bastards, there's references to. I mean, all of the movies are intertwined in Tarantino's mind and in his world.
That's really cool.
I have to watch Django. I haven't watched Django in a while, but that was a good one too.
I never saw it.
Django Unchained. Yeah, it's pretty intense. It's
The Hateful Eight.
Hateful Eight is the one I was.
Which one was?
Hateful Eight. Kurt Russell's in it. They're all end up in a cabin, right?
Yep.
But did you ever hear the story?
That was a good movie. I like that one.
Did you hear the story about the guitar?
No.
He's got a guitar. Well, the guitar that he had, and I'm paraphrasing because I read it without having seen the movie, but they got from C.F. Martin and Company, Martin guitar that was like a relic, like a late 1800s Martin guitar of that period, and it was loaned to them under the with them. You have to take this kind of care of it, make sure. I mean,
why'd you say was? Damn it!
Because in the movie they smash it.
Oh God!
Yeah,
and I believe they thought it was a prop, but it was the real guitar, and they smashed it.
Wait!
And it's
what
like
movie
a
was
priceless. The Hateful Eight.
Oh shoot!
A priceless guitar.
It's a priceless guitar. And they smashed it, and they said that the guy from Martin that was on set watching had a cardiac, just was like, no. And yeah.
I bet you some of that movie profits went back to...
Oops. Yeah.
Big oops.
Big oops.
Gosh, yeah. I can't see how you missed that. I can't. Oh, Lord have mercy.
I'm curious, having not seen the movie, so obviously not that particular scene in the movie, if there's a reaction on people's actors' faces, or so maybe Kurt Russell was the one that would know what it was, because I think he played Elvis, when he was younger. But I guess you can't play Elvis when Elvis was older, can you? Anyway, so if he had a reaction to like, oh shit, we just messed that up big time. So
that's interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting.
And his most recent movie was Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, or has he came out with a new?
Was he in that?
I
haven't seen movies. I haven't.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was a different take on the Manson murders.
Yeah,
yes.
I think again, without having seen it, ever since the pandemic thing, I really haven't gone to movies.
I'm starting to get back into it. When we were at New Orleans, the only thing we really could do is watch. Like I was like, we're quarantined for 2 months, and so sometimes we can go. Okay, y'all can go out. Just make sure wherever y'all go out, there's not a lot of people around. So we would actually go to the movie theater and watch a movie that's been out for a while.
Right,
where you can see if the seats are empty. And so that was something that we did. And so I started getting back into movies, and I was like, oh, I really miss. And that's one thing I like, is I like to go to the theater. I like to get some popcorn. And those reclinable chairs, they spoil you now. They spoil you.
Well, yeah. And they serve cocktails in there now.
I'm surprised Ocean Springs doesn't have a movie theater.
They used to on 90.
Did they?
On Bienville.
I know the Biloxi Lux is nice. People, I like that one right there by Edgewater.
And one in D'Iberville.
The one in Grand, I haven't been there in a while, and you got Cinemark. But you got to think, Biloxi, D'Iberville, Gulfport, Ocean Springs lacks a movie theater. Yeah. You might need to get something like that.
So what were we talking about?
I don't know. I'm just
movies. We were talking about Hateful Eight, and we talked about something else.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah. Well, originally I had read that. Originally, I had read that it was supposed to be a lot of the Manson murders and how little Charlie had endeared himself. Dennis Wilson of the Beach Boys, he stayed at his house and that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're interesting. But the powers that be from the studio wanted them to get away from it some, and so they incorporated other stories. That's what I've read.
Yeah. So
did you see it?
Several times.
Oh, really?
The Manson.
Oh, you're the man.
Doesn't come in until about the second third of the film. It mostly focuses on Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio and their friendship and.
They're stuntmen, aren't they? Or is that? Or are they actors?
Well, Brad Pitt
is a stuntman.
Yeah.
Leonardo DiCaprio is the actor.
Okay.
But it's their friendship and their inner lives. The Manson does come in, like I said, until the second third of the movie, which that when it does.
Yeah, I would imagine. I would imagine.
And see, Manson in real life, he never you gotta think I was born in '90, so this is part of history. Like, he never killed anybody, right? He
was the mastermind behind it, but he pretty much I was alive for this. He pretty much brainwashed his sect.
They just released.
They lived on an old movie set.
And see, that's what once upon they portray that.
And they just kind of like, what are people doing now with homes? They just kind of move in. What's it called? Squatting. They just squatted on this movie set. And Manson was a frustrated songwriter.
Mm-hmm.
Charles Manson was. And
I didn't know that.
he met Dennis Wilson, the Wilson brothers and the Beach Boys, met him at a restaurant or somewhere. He met him. Hitchhiking. He was hitchhiking. And Dennis picked him up and started talking to him. And evidently that Manson was very charismatic. I can never understand that with people when you look at them, like Hitler's another one. He was charismatic. Not looking at him, but anyway. So he took him. He needed a place to stay, so he took him home. Well, he never left his home. Dennis Wilson literally moved out of his own home because this guy scared the shit out of him. Scared him. And of course, with Charlie came all the people. So you've got that going on.
Wait, so who scared who?
Charles Manson scared Dennis Wilson once he kind of got a handle as to who he was and what he was.
Oh, wow.
He'd squatted and moved his friends, his sect, into the house. Another one that was messed up with that was Neil Young. Buffalo Springfield maybe even, that Charles Manson written the song that they said was actually pretty good, but he wanted them to record it. Well, they didn't record it or were going to record it, and so he was after them. But the point, one of the theories or stories is that the reason why he attacked the LaBianca Tate murders was the house. Terry Melcher, who happened to be Doris Day's son, was a big producer at Columbia Records. They turned him down. Melcher said, yeah, we'll record it. Well, he promised him he'd record it. He didn't record it. They went to kill him, but he wasn't there. He'd rented it out or sold it to LaBianca, who was the Folgers Coffee heirs.
Oh, gosh.
So that's how it's all connected with that. I know it's way far away from what we're talking about or should be talking about.
No, but it's interesting.
But it's interesting
that's
the ties in.
Well, we're still talking about Quentin Tarantino, the movie Once Upon a Time in Hollywood,
So you've got
Red Apple Lounge.
all that playing out, and it's like, I mean, it'd be like, Andre, you're driving down the road and you see some guy. Well, poor guy looks like he's down on his luck. We don't pick up hitchhikers like we used to because it's dangerous. Obviously. You pick some guy up, then next thing you know, he's living in your house. You can't get rid of him, or hanging around your bar or whatever, your restaurant. And yeah, it was just, this guy was a madman. Yeah.
So, Andre.
So other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how'd you like to play?
So would you like to do another last minute pitch of, Red Apple Lounge, what y'all offer, just kind of give the audience over the audio waves, a picture of what they can expect when they come to the Red Apple Lounge.
So speaking of Once Upon a Time, I have a cocktail called Once Upon a Time in Ocean Springs.
See, I love that.
Nice tie.
Now it's tied.
And tie it all in. It's a tequila cocktail. It's basically a tequila old-fashioned with toasted almond bitters, a honey simple syrup, reposado tequila, one of my most popular cocktails.
Tell me some more names of some of these drinks. I'm interested.
So I have one called the Honey Bunny.
Very good.
Pulp Fiction.
Right.
Which tastes just like a honey bun from when you were in high school. I don't even know.
I like the tie-in with the flavor and the name.
Nostalgic.
The 5 point finger exploding heart technique from Kill Bill.
Yeah.
Let's see, we have the Crazy 88s from Kill Bill, which is a cognac-based cocktail, which is really good. Jack Rabbit Slim, which the restaurant that Mia and Vinny Vega go to, and where she has the $5 milkshake and he has the
burger
vanilla Coke.
So
I kind of tied those two together.
Really?
Nice. It's vanilla vodka with amaretto, half and half, simple syrup with a Coke float.
Huh.
Another one of my most popular cocktails.
Not bad.
We've got the Bayou Dogs, which is
Reservoir.
probably one of my favorites because it's heat with a little bit of sweet. So it's a bourbon-based cocktail with crawfish bitters, finished with strawberry and cayenne pepper, with brown sugar and vanilla simple syrup.
Holy moly!
Absolutely amazing.
You'll have to tell me Tell me about crawfish bitters.
It smells like crawfish boil. So years ago for Christmas, I've been bartending now for
ever.
Yeah.
You see that face he made? He like looked up and then had to touch his forehead, and it was like that just means like you've outlived your life probably longer being a bartender than not being a bartender probably.
Oh
yes.
Well,
makes
there
sense.
you go.
Makes sense.
So we're not gonna go there. But yes. So I get bartending gifts from my family every year.
That's cool.
And so a few years back, my sister Juliet gave me this box of El Guapo bitters out of New Orleans, and they had gumbo bitters, crawfish bitters.
I've never heard of anything like this.
Absolutely, that gumbo bitters, 2 drops in a Miller High Life. Game changer.
Really?
But the crawfish bitters, I've been trying to find something to do with it for years. And when Kenny, my friend, my business partner, gave me this list of cocktail idea names, I said, I know exactly what I'm going to do with this. And nailed it. I mean, it's my favorite drink on the menu.
So it was worth the wait for you to figure out what to do with it. That is awesome. That is very unique. Unique only to the Red Apple.
Yeah,
I like that.
I challenge anybody to find a bar that has crawfish bitters.
Yeah, yeah. I think, but again, there's a reason to go besides all the other reasons to go to the Red Apple. Yep. That's a great reason to go. Got to check it out, man. Got to go and check it out.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to check it out. My wife and I, we're looking for a date night, so probably hit up a cocktail there. Do y'all have any appetizers or anything like that? Just drinks?
Just drinks.
Gotcha.
But
that's cool.
If you want food, Mosaics is a 30-second walk.
Right.
I can call it in for you and have somebody run it over, or I'll go
run it over
pick
for
it up
you.
for you.
Oh, that's perfect.
If you're that lazy. Or just can't.
So, Andre, let me ask you a question. So, being the Hunt Up podcast, we always ask the question to end it off with some inspiration, words of wisdom. Usually pertains to music. So it could be music, or it could be, hey, you want to open up your own lounge or, vibe or whatever you want to call it. So if you have a words of wisdom for young entrepreneurs, what would that be?
I think one of my favorite quotes is find what you love and let it kill you.
I like that.
That's an interesting quote, and I like it too.
It is, because it makes you think.
Find what you like and let it kill you.
If you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life.
All right.
But if you do it long enough, I mean, we all die, memento mori, but let it kill you.
Yeah.
Softly.
Live your life.
Live your life
doing it.
Yeah, because you're going to die. You'd rather die doing something you love or something you hate.
Exactly.
Yeah, I like that a lot. That's a good quote. I'll remember that. Yeah.
Good quote. Yeah.
Good stuff.
I like that. I like the, and also another question, like, what do you think about the direction of Ocean Springs and, the business scene, but also the music scene? Like, are you
tied in together? Yeah,
tied in together. Like, what do you think?
So I think we've got a lot of great places doing great things, offering services as far as musicians are concerned. But I would love to see something like we were talking about earlier. It was something of a supper club where we brought in more artists. Like Biloxi has Ground Zero.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see something like that come into Ocean Springs to where we can bring in artists from not just local artists, but bring in
of other genres too.
Other genres.
You got New Orleans, you got Mobile. I mean, we're in the middle of a very happening place, and we're right off of the interstate. So, I
mean, if they were doing it in the 50s and 60s, why couldn't we do it today?
Exactly.
Very well said.
I like that.
I do too. And you're right. Yeah. Why can't we do it now? Somebody will. Might be you.
No.
No. So it's food for thought, and I think that's a really good idea, and it would be a good direction, because it'd be something totally different, and that's what we want is different things.
I've got friends right now
choices.
Who work in Nashville and New Orleans, Mobile.
Mm-hmm.
Why can't we, as a community, use our resources? I mean, everybody knows everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Why can't we use our resources to bring people in?
Mm-hmm. I agree. That's a great parting thought. That's just really
need a venue willing to host it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm Jesse. Andre, it's been a pleasure.
It has been a pleasure.
And I cannot wait to try the Red Apple Lounge located on Government Street inside the heart of Ocean Springs.
Yes.
And I'm going to go home and watch some Quentin Tarantino movies tonight.
Me too.
Jesse, the pleasure's been mine. Hank, my old friend.
As
always.
A pleasure having you on the show. And seeing you again. I hadn't seen you for a while, so this is great. Good
Awesome.
guy. Yeah, he's a good guy.
Hadn't seen you since Sunday.
That's since Sunday. That's how long it's been.
Well, y'all take care. And once again, this is the High Note Podcast.